What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Country Cast. We have a really good one for y'all today, as we will share the story of one of country music's most significant and prolific artists in the business today, the very talented Miss Miranda Lambert. Miranda Lambert has had quite the long and illustrious career, accomplishing many well-respected milestones, accolades, and awards throughout her time as an artist, which all started from her humble beginnings and facing hardships to her breakout success, navigating through relationships that hit the headlines throughout her career, and of course where she is today, cementing her name into country music forever. With all of that in mind, let's jump right into the life and times of Miranda Lambert. Miranda Lee Lambert was born in Longview, Texas on November 10, 1983. However, she spent most of her time growing up primarily in the northeastern town of Lindale, Texas, where her parents Beverly and Richard established and ran a private investigation agency. And if you can believe it, during Miranda's childhood, she was very shy and quiet and didn't really begin to open up until about 5th grade. And when the time came that Miranda finally did open up, others were quick to take note of her personality and her talents, because in middle school, Miranda Lambert was voted most likely to become a country singer. Talk about fate, right? After all, Miranda's childhood was also surrounded by country music. While her father would play guitar around the house and he was a songwriter himself, Lambert found a true love for country music, as well through some of her idols like Merle Haggard, Loretta Lynn, and Emmylou Harris, and many of the Texas country music scene artists. However, her music taste also spanned outside of country music, with rock influences like Jet and Audioslave. But one artist in particular that left Miranda in awe was Mariah Carey. And I think it is safe to say that you can see and hear a touch of each of Miranda's inspirations in her music and performances today. Again, music definitely had its heavy impact on Miranda, but another piece to her childhood that had much impact as well on her life was at the young age of just 6 years old, after her family became homeless. At the time, Miranda's parents' business experienced hardship and fell behind on house payments. At the time, Lambert's family packed up from their home and then moved in with their uncle until her parents found another home. The home the Lamberts found was a farmhouse located in Lindale, Texas, and it needed much work, so much so it was on the verge of being torn down. But the repairs that were needed played a significant role in the Lamberts securing the home. And in exchange for the repairs, the owner agreed to letting them live there. And in an interview with Good Morning America back in 2010, Miranda detailed the events and said, "We were homeless. It sounds weird to say now, but we were so blessed. The next thing you know, the banker's coming saying, 'I need the keys.'" Miranda continued and explained the shape of their new home in Lindale, saying, "Some of the windows were boarded up, and we never did get central heating. So when you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you had to run because it was freezing." All that being said, it is a sad story, but it's also a really happy story, as it also built our family back. It made us stronger than ever. I want for when I have a family one day. Hopefully I don't have to go through the hardship to get there, but I'm really glad I did, as I know how to build that in my own life. Miranda's parents also spoke about the difficult time and their new home during an interview with the Associated Press some time ago, where they said, "When we got that house, we rented it and renovated it, and that was the house that built us up." Beverly, Miranda's mother, added, "We didn't know it at the time, but it did." And Miranda's father, Rick, who was also interviewed, said, "We had no food in our house. It was horrible. It was a horrible time because I felt like even though it wasn't my fault, our fault, I had a terrible time with that." And of course, as most know, this story became the inspiration behind one of Lambert's most popular and outstanding songs, her song titled "The House That Built Me" off her album Revolution. Though as time went on and Lindale became her new home, Miranda looked forward and started honing in on her own music path more and more. Lambert jump-started it all when she joined the Texas Pride Band in high school. As well as performing throughout the Texas bar circuits, she played on the Johnny High Country Music Review, which is the same talent show that launched LeAnn Rimes, and really learned how to win over a crowd by performing at the historic Rio Palm Dance Hall in Longview, Texas, where several greats like Willie Nelson have played, including also where Brooks and Dunn got their start. Also, during her time as a high schooler at the age of 16, Miranda Lambert actually got the opportunity to record a demo tape out in Nashville. But she wasn't feeling it at all, as she deemed it to be too pop country. In an interview with Redbook back in 2011, Miranda said, "My dad bought me a guitar when I was like 10, and I didn't really want it then. But I did this demo in Nashville when I was 16 with some songs that had been chosen for me that were really sweet, poppy country. They didn't move me at all. When I came home, I was like, I have more to say. So I went to Dad and said, that guitar, how about teaching me a few chords? I wrote my first song in 2 days. It felt like, right, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm really fortunate because in my career, I haven't had to deal with anybody trying to make me something that I'm not." I mean, at age 16, learning guitar, first off, and then just 2 days later, she's playing and writing her first ever song. It's pretty impressive. So from 17 on, she began writing her own songs more and more and working tirelessly to find her place in music. Her next big venture came only 2 years later, in the year of 2003 at just 19 years old, when she was a contestant on the reality TV singing competition at the time, Nashville Star. And on that year, the inaugural season of the show, Miranda Lambert made it all the way to the top 3. Ultimately, she placed 3rd overall behind runner-up John Arthur Martinez and winner Buddy Jewell. Now, what's interesting is Miranda did not want to really win Nashville Star at all. In an interview later in her career, Miranda said it was because the winner had to go in right after the contest and make a record in a couple of weeks, and I wasn't ready. Now, not winning the competition did work in her favor because her time spent on the show was not wasted at all. During her time on that show, she caught the attention of judge and Sony Music executive Tracy Gershon. And shortly following the finale of that season on September 15, 2003, Miranda Lambert signed her first ever record deal with Epic Records, and as we say, the rest is history. And in 2005, Miranda released her debut album, Kerosene. Me and Charlie Talkin' was the first single to be released from that album and only peaked at number 27, while the second single, Bring Me Down, peaked only at number 32 on the charts. But when she released Kerosene, it was a meteoric rise from there. Kerosene, the album, also reached number 1 on the top country albums chart at the time, and the record has since went platinum. Since her debut album, Miranda has released 7 studio records: Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, Revolution, For the Record, Platinum, The Weight of These Wings, Wild Card, and Palomino. And of course, the collaborative album, The Marfa Tapes, which is just an absolute incredible album. Miranda Lambert is also a member of the country trio, the Pistol Annies, featuring Ashley Monroe and Angelina Presley, which has also been a very huge success in her career. Along with the many albums that Miranda has released and them certifying platinum, multi-platinum, and gold, she's had quite the award history as well. ACM Top New Female Vocalist in 2007 to kick it all off. Several Female Vocalist of the Year awards both from the ACMs and the CMAs. 3 Grammy Award wins for Best Female Country Vocal Performance for The House That Built Me, and 2 were for Best Country Album for her albums Platinum and Wild Card. And in 2022, she took home her first ever Entertainer of the Year award from the ACMs. The other nominees in the category were Carrie Underwood, Chris Stapleton, Eric Church, and Luke Combs. That's quite the nominee list. And on that night that she won the award, she was unfortunately not able to even accept it in person, due to being overseas working in London. Miranda became one of 9 female artists to ever win the award, joining Barbara Mandrell, Reba McEntire, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, Shania Twain, the Dixie Chicks, Carrie Underwood, and Taylor Swift. There is no question that Miranda Lambert has had such a phenomenal career. Though she navigated through her career and has found the success that she has clearly earned, there were times where it was not all glamorous, however. As we close out, we are going to look at her relationships that hit headlines with fellow artists in the business. Miranda's first relationship to make headlines was back in 2006, when she and Blake Shelton began dating after she broke off from a previous engagement and Blake split from his first wife. Jumping forward to 2010, Blake Shelton finally popped the question and asked Miranda Lambert to marry him. And in 2011, the two tied the knot down at Don Strange Ranch in Texas. But by 2015, the couple divorced, and in a joint statement to Us Weekly, they said, "This is not the future that we envisioned, and it is with heavy hearts that we move forward separately." A clear reason never seemed to be shared regarding their decision to divorce, but it was even being rumored at the time from sources alleging that Blake Shelton was spending more time with country singer Katie Groves, and on the other hand, sources allege that Blake feared Miranda started seeing fellow country singer Chris Young, which Chris Young has denied those claims. Time spent away from each other was also mentioned as well. Also, the two not being on the same page when it came to having children, but either way, the two were able to move on. And shortly after their split, people reported that Miranda Lambert began dating musician Anderson East. But in 2018, the couple split, as it appeared that the two spent too much time apart from one another. Now, shortly after Miranda's breakup from Anderson East, it was then reported that she had been dating Turnpike Troubadour frontman Evan Felker in that same year after being on tour together on Miranda's Living Like Hippies tour. The relationship became questioned as Felker was in a marriage prior to going on tour with Miranda. Evan did, however, finalize his divorce, but he and Lambert did not see each other long, as the two would split from one another in August of 2018, and Felker returned to his previous wife and welcomed a child. From rocky relationships to now, Miranda has found happiness and peace with her husband, former New York City police officer Brendan McLaughlin. The two married in private in 2019 and just recently celebrated their 4th year of marriage together, and they do really look happy with one another. It's great to see Miranda doing well and doing what she truly loves to do, and man, is she damn good at making country music. Miranda, of course, gives back as well with her Mutt Nation Foundation efforts, helping rescue animals and adoption for them. She has a true love for dogs, and she also has a really sweet spot down on Lower Broadway in downtown Nashville named Casa Rosa. Check it out if you are ever in town. It is a great place to go. And of course, her own clothing line with Idlewind. Again, what a career, a very well-deserved, successful career at that. And there will only be more to come from Miranda Lambert in the future as she continues down the road of making her case for the Country Music Hall of Fame. Guys, thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed looking at the life and times of Miranda Lambert, but that will be it for today's video. Again, thank you all for tuning in.